My name is Casey Sturgill.
My name is Randall Smith.
And our presentation is about golems. A golem is a human figure made out of clay, mud, stone, or any other inanimate matter and supernaturally brought to life. Narratives about golems reveal the hubris of humanity and develop them into a mirror, while they also take on lives of their own.
So, Jewish origins. In the beginning, God created man in his image. To God, man is an artificial creature, much like the golem is for us. In fact, in the Talmud, a Jewish scholarly commentary on the Old Testament, Adam is considered the original golem. The key difference between him and later versions of golems, of course, is that Adam possesses a soul. An excerpt from a Talmudic passage chronicles Adam's first day, and it says as follows. In the first hour, Adam ascended into the thoughts of God. In the third, God collected his dust. In the sixth, God made him a golem. And in the seventh hour, God blew in the soul. This passage suggests that the belief that Adam had a form before he had true life or a soul. When God first crafted Adam from the dirt, he was a golem, but then he gave him a soul, and he became the first man. This belief is supported by the fact that the word golem is used once in the Bible, in Psalm 119, where Adam addresses God, "You saw me a golem," which in the original Hebrew meant incomplete or unshaped. These comparisons between golems and humans, that they were both shaped from clay, that they were both made in the image of the Creator, is important in understanding why the golem is actually the perfect symbol to represent the hubris of humanity. Adam, once he was given true life and the free will to choose his own path, he turned against God, and in a sense became the first instance of a golem rebelling against their maker. Because golems are also made in our image and learn from us, they become our doubles and embody this same hubris that made Adam believe that he was better off without God, and makes us believe that we are able to take on this role ourselves. So that's the start, and then we get into some early narratives with the Golem of Kim, which is the oldest account of a golem having been made by a historical figure. In it, the Rabbi Eliyahu, who lived in the city of Kim in Poland, created a golem which became very large, and the rabbi was afraid that it would destroy the world, so he gave his life to destroy the creature. And then the most famous early golem narrative is the Golem of Prague. It's also late 16th century, and follows the Rabbi Judah Low, who creates a golem to protect the Jewish community of Prague from attacks by anti-Semites who would either kill or exile them. And Joseph, the golem of the story, the golem gets a name in this story, that Joseph falls in love, and he's rejected and then goes on a murderous rampage. So the rabbi has to confront him, and he removes the shem from his mouth, which destroys the creature. Some variations in other mythologies. There's in Greek mythology, there's the myth of Talos. And Talos is an automaton crafted from bronze by the gods and given as a gift to defend the island of Crete. And then there's the myth of Galadium and Pygmalion, which comes from Ovid's Metamorphoses. And in it, Pygmalion is a sculptor who crafts a woman out of ivory and then believes that she's so beautiful that he just can't fall in love with another woman. And so he goes to the goddess Aphrodite and wishes for a woman who looks like his creation. And then he returns home and finds that his sculpture has come alive. And the two fall in love, and he names it the sculpture Galadia.
Okay, and here are some modern variations of the golem myth. To start off with, we have Frankenstein, which is a novel by Mary Shelley. It is about a young scientist named Victor Frankenstein who is full of hubris. He learns the secret of bestowing life on inanimate matter. He brings a large creature made of various human and animal parts to life, which is a golem, of course, and he flees when he sees the final form of his creation. The creature seeks love elsewhere, but is rejected yet again. As a result, the creature becomes monstrous and devotes himself to wreaking destruction, which parallels the golem narrative of Kim and Prague. Victor and the creation mirror one another. The creature was made to mirror Victor's humanity, while Victor was remade in the creature's monstrousness, meaning the creature has come to embody the darkness that was already in Victor and drew it out of him. Mary Shelley referred to her novel as a hideous progeny, comparing it to the creature. Stories are made like the creature, meaning that each story contains parts of other stories that are then all put together and brought to life. And in that way, they are like golems. Other modern variations include the gingerbread man, which is of course food that is brought to life by magic, and Pinocchio, which is a wooden puppet that is brought to life by magic. Okay, and 20th century appearances of golems. First we have The Golem, which is a movie directed by Paul Wegener and Henrik Galeen that adapts the Prague Golem narrative. And then we have Superheroes, which is not about golems in a traditional sense, however, it does show echo of golems. Okay, and then we have Jason and the Argonauts, which is a movie that is about the golem Talos. And then we have Dungeons and Dragons, which features the Jewish folklore golem rather than it being a variation. And then we have Blade Runner, which is a movie directed by Ridley Scott and adapted from the novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. The story centers around a human character, Rick Deckard, who is paid as a bounty hunter to kill artificial humanoids called replicants, the golem of the story. Replicants become an unexpected type of golem that is able to speak, listen, move elegantly, appreciate beauty, and act with furious passion. And they have profound reflections. Roy, the leader of the runaway replicants, is the story's primary golem. We see a man succeed in imitating God's greatest work, but his hubris remains when he tries to control creatures made with free will for greedy profit. And in saying that replicants, no matter how alive they are not human.
We have another science fiction film, The Terminator, which is directed by James Cameron. And The Terminator features a robotic golem much like those of Blade Runner, but the interesting difference is that in this film it isn't humans, but rather an artificial intelligence that's made by humans that creates the titular golem to use it for the purpose of preserving its own life from human threats. We also have the story of the Clayboy, which is a variation of another variation of the golem myth, and we have a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by a Jewish-American author, The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. And at one point in this story, we're told the story of how one of the characters, Joseph, escaped Europe by hiding in a coffin, a ruse which he also used to attempt to smuggle the inanimate golem of Prague out of to safety. And it's an interesting connection is that, if you recall, the golem of Prague's name was Joseph as well.
Okay, and now we have the present. Golems are so prevalent today as we see yet another movie with a golem narrative, which is, of course, Blade Runner 2049. Given their continued popularity, what makes golems so popular? Why do we feel the need to keep telling golem stories? Why should you care?
So Isaac Singer, when asked why he believed that the golem has interested so many creative minds in the past and continues to do so even in a science and technology-oriented society, had this to say: why shouldn't the golem influence and intrigue creative minds? It is based on a faith almost as old as the human species, that dead matter isn't dead, but that it can be brought to life. It is no exaggeration to say that the golem story isn't nearly as obsolete as it seemed to be 100 years ago. What are the computers and other technology that we have today, if not golems? In modern times, the golem serves as a metaphor for science and technology. And technology, there's no doubt, is very embedded in our society. We're becoming increasingly reliant on it to the point of wanting it to be able to anticipate our every need, which is why there is a lot of research being done into artificial intelligence that could actually serve this very purpose. So as technology evolves to meet this demand, the possibility of real golems actually becoming a thing is becoming closer to reality. It's just over the hill of scientific advancement. If this becomes possible, though, we ask you, are we ready for this divine responsibility? Some of you may say no, some of you may say yes, but the fact is that there are people right now that are working on creating artificial intelligence, which means that the answer of our species is yes. And ready or not, there may come a day when we create real golems. And if that happens, should we prepare ourselves for the possibility that they'll try to overthrow us? I personally would expect nothing less. Would it be any wonder if they did, desiring to usurp the role of the Creator as we have tried to do with God? It is the inevitable hubris of free minds with sizable intelligence to think that they can do better, that they can be better than their Creator. Thank you.